But for colonialism, there would be no Ghana. In fact, it is most likely that Ashanti would have conquered the rest of Ghana. They had. It was the British that stopped them. So when you have an artificial construct like that, with a very strong empire, and Ashanti was an empire, and you say you are decentralizing, you must watch what you do. Fortunately, we have had very wise Ashantians who have not created a problem. But if you get an Ashanti who is troublesome, he can create problems for the nation Ghana.
I'm coming to Canada also through your Canada Chamber, Ghana Commerce and all that. So obviously this should be one of the major topics that I would want to talk to you about. So the High Commissioner tells me you're also preparing to receive me there. And therefore I look forward to meeting you. And I hope that this collaboration between Canada and Ghana would inure to the benefit mutually of all of us together.
I'm saying for me no kasai idea Otumfour said to Toby Santimera Yura Onkwaso coming June 16th to 20th Otumfour Echo Canada na de no koye Canadian government and na wo invite Yura any business committee commission no and na FIFA World Cup opening ceremony so be koso na o say the king of Ashanti Kingdom and now obey the occasion for them. I had the reason so. The Atosubio. Opening your friend Professor Kwame na Ahoy. What didn't come be a far Ghana and Asante on say. A Yanshabi no ye said the Bay Asante Fontimenti won. Now Santeno, or Conca, Senya, near be ya, and Casante about a country. Ibu assassin. Eddie Kine. Minchka Monka ye say 30th August, more America, or Santahini, near Cosidia Cassie. Yabaya no Bowie, Maryland, Station, ya watch the reason show na edge update. Afi, Canada, June 16th to 20th. Canada for Namunya ready, or Santa Henipa live. FIFA World Cup no, Canada for ne abayin woman ready say, or ba no be greasy the occasion among. Afi, open your friend Kwame na Ahoy. And was say, Nim come what dino. Yakat the Biachamo say, politician, a friend Bruni and Chroma Rollins. NDC aban wo mo maka nyina e kwa bia santeman no o metchekere ye e de ato boom e no wo yi se papa yi agro asem bia wo ka no enya santefo adwene ne mom onim se no kura we na wotu asa waye obi bi na oyam hyehye wo opani ya NDC financier e na mahama yi ne se o mo nkɔ round se bi decentralization se ye keka oman no nyina bobobom na aban na control na aban bia suro ene se ontimi control santeman fi say your resources ne enema nyina no ye ne achiche krudeda na bruni ene ye nuanom na ye yabro enti papa yi tin komo bi a wo kire mu say asante no se politician ye mistake ya obete ne ho before ansana me de obakwa asafrom yentie NDC openi final member yi na mahama na adwuma na munti asem bi a oka.
In decentralizing, you must be aware that there are separatist tendencies. It is very easy to move from decentralization to separation, to federalism, to balkanization, to secession, and to the breakdown of the country. This is the reason why we have a very weak regional level in our decentralization system. I'll give you two examples. Don't ever think that Ghana can remain or will remain Ghana forever. Ghana, like almost all African countries, with the exception of Ethiopia and Liberia, are artificial, or Ghana is an artificial colonial construct. But for colonialism, there would be no Ghana. In fact, it is most likely that Ashanti would have conquered the rest of Ghana. They had. It was the British that stopped them. So when you have an artificial construct like that, with a very strong empire, and Ashanti was an empire, and you say you are decentralizing, you must watch what you do. Fortunately, we have had very wise Ashantians who have not created a problem. But if you get an Ashanti who is troublesome, he can create problems for the nation Ghana. And I'll give you two examples. When in our youth, when we were schooling, there were no countries like Ukraine or Kyrgyzstan or all those countries. There was nothing like that. There was no Kosovo, no Bosnia Herzegovina. There was Yugoslavia, which broke up, or which has broken up into 6 different countries. Bosnia Herzegovina, Kosovo, Serbia, and them. Then there was USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, which was made up of 15 different republics, each of which was strong enough to become a state. Ukraine was part of this, so we call it the Soviet Union. And Ukraine, in fact, was the intellectual center of the USSR. It existed for 70 years, 70 plus years, USSR. And then in the late 1990s, it broke up. And each state went its different way, and we got about 15 new countries in the world. I've also made reference to Nigeria. Nigeria started off with 3 big states: northern region, eastern region, western region. Each had the population, the land mass, the resources, etc. All they needed was a charismatic leader. And then they got one when Lieutenant Colonel Odumegu Ojukwu became the governor of eastern Nigeria. He broke away and formed the country Biafra. General Gowon, who was the head of the federal Nigeria, waged a war which lasted 3 years before he could keep Nigeria together, 1967 to 1970. By the end of that war, 1 million people had died. So the lesson this teaches us is that decentralization is good, but if you don't take care, it can be a great danger to the unity of the state. And I have explained to you that Ashanti could easily be a country. The Dagomba Kingdom could easily be a country. We don't want to fashion out a governance system that will give an excuse for Ghana to break up. I disagreed completely with the creation of those new regions. At independence in 1957, we had only 5 regions: Eastern, Western, Ashanti, Northern Territories, and Trans-Volta Togoland, which has become today's Volta region. There were 5 regions. In 1960, under the Republican Constitution, Western region was broken up into Western and Central, and Ashanti was broken up into Ashanti and Boaz. So we got 10 regions. So we got 8 regions. Then in 1982, it wasn't Upper West that was created in 1982. It was Greater Accra region that was created in 1982, and it was carved out of Eastern region. And then in 1983, Upper West was carved out of the Upper region. So then we got 10 regions. So when you have an artificial construct like that, with a very strong empire, and Ashanti was an empire, and you say you are decentralizing, you must watch what you do. Fortunately, we have had very wise Asantehines who have not created a problem. But if you get an Asantehine who is troublesome, he can create problems for the nation Ghana. So the lesson this teaches us is that decentralization is good, but if you don't take care, it can be a great danger to the unity of the state.
Kwame na hoy asama wo chechire mi eye nsam yi no baako eye other politics and opese o create conversation anase opese o test asantefo adwene we say de o ka ye nim no wo ka kire ya na da bi de ema papa no ntiase ne say asantefo nkase ye tie ho ena nyo ne ebe me adwene say asantefo ntie ho da bi NDC politics we don't trust them. We ya asantefo ye nananom nyina nim ba bi ani gina ene de politics ba ye yaba be gina Shabre ne nkrabia ne beche nemu nya policy bia ne be diteme e de ama asante Ghana asante ka Ghana ho ye nyina ye Ghana fo enu obi antime predict de asante be ye now de tosu bio openi na kwaye say de wo say ka de tosu mienu ne say wadi obi boni wa ya de bia ti obi na oyem hyehyew en na mu hu no openi okandi simpanifo a ombopo ene ne mahama na dwumanti omo fa kwa bia so say maye ma asante nya nyina so na wakote no ho asem oka no ase ba akono no because it's a little mistake asante betumi atena ho fi say asante no ne dane man dada enna JB dan kwa mo kwa me nkroma mo ne nananom sajma prempem mo etena se ye se ye nyina nkambo ne enye osro eti akwase what politicians they fear say asantefo no ahwe ya dabi ombete wo ho enu ntina se wahwa ye resources afomakudie ne ye japade nyina no wo mo gia no mo de akogu akra no mo sa diatem galamsi ahodo nyina asantemam no mo to ni kese we is a western region free one nanso so ni nyina na hoho ni to diko eno ma hyada kyekere na nanom sa ne na nanom so ayedin ena ehwe wo eti papa yasem okay osro onim so ma ye boni bi atia asantefo asanteman no a ebeka ma Ghana gina ne naso ka asanteni wa Ghana ne ka ma omunim ena na ye nananom bi ni enkrofo na kwura politics ena omudidi abro na wo ye santeni adwene ho enya mpipi ne NDC sem dwene ho hwe se ejapade wa santemem na enkrofo ya fa through politics ntina openi professor Kwame na Hall odi nkomo wo ya me enya me nwanwa fi se ye nim se sa ne tie ni akyekyere ye man dada country kyekere country bebre wo wiase omo nso ncha asanteman Lesotho egi ekro bebre Luxembourg munyina na omudi yabro na bre bi be pasa de oka se santehini bi balance wo ye trouble a obete ne ho no tie enya trouble no ye santehini be ba wo de nan besi form se dabi musisi ye kro bebre ate wo mu free country bebre mu na nso nyomo ne be kire enya politician ene be kire ti ase sa omo emu ye e trap omo ye na se akoye se ye kodi na asem na kidabi omo ntimi kire de yenye efei yenko ne yenkohwe yewura na ye ka santehini santima wura wiase wura cognition ye kasa obi betumi akyekyere kuru obi akyekyere kuru obi ye recognize obi ye authority ene santehini eno ena ma Canada for say omo hia no no person wane bog of kraka ho afi World Cup eba so Canada ni America no afi wo mama na be kasa kyere wiase 16th to 20th June stay tuned na yentie Maryland State University na wo no ye ba live setu ba nyameka se ba akwaside kase live in America samuka de si wo me ayi no Chicago no live oba enti mun sha ne so my why na eno achi no so no the month of June Canada fo nyina se mo prime minister na twen santehene o twen na kobo golf na fe FIFA World Cup opening ceremony no so be so live eti wo mo the high power delegation abakurura ho yentie asemu amubaye wo be kan yentie bi.
Also, the king will be addressing the diaspora, which is 40,000 Ghanaians live in Toronto.
Listen, I believe strongly that the mayor would assemble his team to be able to meet you and then also have a drive around the Zoom line for
reference purposes. The second thing we wanted to discuss is we will be excited to host the king for the World Cup in Toronto. And so there's going to be an opportunity to play golf at one of the great golf courses in Toronto at Lions Head. I'm a golfer. I look forward to playing golf with the king, with some other dignitaries. Also, the king will be addressing the diaspora, which is 40,000 Ghanaians live in Toronto. So at that point, there'll be Sankofa Square, which is a big square in Toronto. 10 to 15,000 people we expect there that the king will address as well. So we aim to make his trip very fruitful. We know we've heard a lot about the king, his wisdom, and we're here to really say, you know, get his blessing for the projects that we're trying to accomplish and the things we're trying to do in Ghana. We know that if you're trying to build infrastructure here, the king needs to, you know, impart his wisdom and also impart his support. So that's why we're here today. Thank you.
Thank you for coming this afternoon. I thank you very much. The High Commissioner mentioned that you will be here. And, the major issue is about waste management.
Yes.
Which is a bigger issue for us. We've not been able to have a solution to that so far. We've had some companies trying and building, collecting the waste and then building whatever, but we still have a major problem. And the tons and tons of waste, now the increase in population, and also mismanagement of where to put the waste by the people themselves is creating so much problems for.
Okay, at the Principal Moses this year, I can't wait to see His Majesty Toronto. It Mr. Toronto, Omaye, a park be ɛhɔ ɛyɛ official afɛ no mo ne ɔsantehene bebia no bɛ ɛhɔ yɛ playgrounds ɔmo to ne din ɔmo de ato Ghana ni ɛhɔ ɛna program no bɛkɔ so nti mesrɛ mo a Prince Moses yɛn nyinaa yɛbɛba live yɛba live eti Prince Moses sɛ wɔsi we Canada next month yɛ June ya o mesrɛ mo a mo hɔ no mo sɛ aka ne sɛ Toronto awurade aborɔfo mu ha dwen wubu so mo sɛ aka ne sɛ Toronto Torontofoɔ no nyinaa mo nya Sankofa Square, me da se pa Prince Moses. Thank you. Sankofa Square. Eti Toronto fo ni nyina no. Toronto anase Toronto fo no me dia mabrɛ Toronto me be ka me ketere makora. Toronto fo no. Mu nyina mo nya ready. Quebec. Fo no mukrom ka na Canada okrom yira fidi. Quebec ni fo ho fo no. Ba bi ho wapa mu nyina mo nya ready. June yawo Santini bounce wake up no mukro mo ka ho Canada ho ka ho na yesen krofo bi se Santini nko Canada na we no ba ne dai ni plane mo betu tie no ana mo betu Santini tie no plane mo betu tie no say my flight ni to hey kro bi na ho ya fo kro za no enti Prince Moses ni Toronto fo ni nyina no munya ready Prime Minister no wo ho no was so person woni yewura kobo golf ntimunya ready why yentie odi yentie kurura.
The High Commissioner mentioned that you will be here.
Sure.
And the major issue is about waste management.
Yes.
Which is a bigger issue for us.
Sure.
We've not been able to have a solution to that so far. We've had some companies trying and building collecting the waste and then building whatever, but we still have a major problem. And the tons and tons of waste, the increase in population, and also mismanagement of where to put the wastes by the people themselves is creating so much problems for us that we need to have a holistic scientific approach to that.
Sure.
Therefore, what you come with would be something that ideally would be better for us in terms of health delivery, everything, and converting that into electricity and all those things. And, seriously, we need a holistic approach to waste management. Be instructed that when you come, we should get you to see the mayor of Kumasi so he can take you around some of the places where, and then also get to meet the waste department section so we know the volumes of waste that we produce. I don't think we would even have the accurate number, but using your expertise also and doing a proper feasibility, we should be able to have the tonnage of waste that we produce every day, every week, every year. And that then would inure to the benefit of helping us to set up what would be appropriate for Kumasi and the environment. The greater Kumasi, for example, is wider, and the various district and municipal assemblies are all included, that if we can look at it, it will help us to be able to plan on this one. So I look to your technical expertise to be able to do this, and I believe strongly that the mayor would assemble his team to be able to meet you, and then also have the Zoom Lion, for example, has been doing its best. Such collaboration from here and committing. If we're able to satisfy ourselves that this in Tamale and all those places, all over the country, it's one major issue that we have, and that's something that we all would want to have a solution to that. So I know I'm coming to Canada or something through your Canada Chamber, Ghana comments and all that. So obviously this should be one of the major topics that I would want to talk to you about. So by the time we meet, I want to know what data you collected, and I also find out what I can bring to you so we can discuss that together.
Sure.
Formulate a policy that will help us to do that. But you have my support in every way, because waste management is something that we all have to find a solution to. And I know the High Commissioner tells me you're also preparing to receive me there. And therefore, I look forward to meeting you, and I hope that this collaboration between Canada and Ghana would renew.
Enti Krowra Ashanti mawura Canada fo nyina mate den ne atadwe we dey we opportunity o we your FIFA World Cup opening ceremony yewura wo bai one ne nananom nyina no tesene bomodin pe wo kente to pe wo atade fita pe wo Ashanti atade o t-shirt to be Amazon quick yewura so wo ba Canada next month yawo etimi seremo amonya ready
coming to Canada through your Canada Chamber, Ghana Commerce and all that. So obviously this should be one of the major topics that I would want to talk to you about. So the High Commissioner tells me you're also preparing to receive me there. And therefore I look forward to meeting you. And
Eti was say am I ready? Canadians now ready channel. Eti ano so no yesremo am obi anya ready. Krowreba. Philomena say yes. I love the king. Proud Africa. Was it top notch? Yi entesenia commentary position for no say am for you ready now for August, the month of August 30th no America from Washington DC to Maryland Bowen University when I consider case because on the month of August Krowra Pepper eti America for nyina amonya ready pe wasante ntade no flag no pegu na pe okinte no so guo ebia ye de beko ese se ye bopie monte so ne kira abrofo ne bibi kakra sa asantefo na ba eno ano no I had the reason so na eno so no na say obi say ya say sante yin ntimi nko Canada sa yate na we rumbu akotu ni tie na ya no motu tie no why